So these are the heat maps for George Springer, and this is something that I thought was interesting in context of like of Eduard Bizzardo and what he pitched to. So on the left here, so this is this is for the whole year. So this year, this is where he was pitched on the right here. So like this is where all pitches in the playoffs are. Okay. So as you can see, we have this like angle here, right? For George Springer. He is what we call a rocking chair guy, meaning the cold zones on him are up and in and down and away. Actually, let's change the color here to like red. What's a color that's not in here? Purple? Let's go purple. Okay. So rocking chair means up and in, down and away. You want to rock them back and then lean them over. So you want to go up and in and then move down and away. So usually down ways are sliders, up and in is fastballs. We saw the Mariners attacking him with two seams and sinkers up and in. George Kirby was doing it. Bryce Miller was doing it. Everyone was doing it, right? Because this spot right here is usually wide open. It's usually wide open. But they weren't throwing strikes. They were missing like here the whole time, okay? That is not the same effect. You can't set George Springer up because he's never off of this lane right here. If you just keep missing in that lane, you could throw him up and in, 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 and then hang a slider. He's still gonna hammer it. He never gets off of it. So you have to throw these pitches up and in for strikes. You have to throw a strike saying, I'm gonna throw a pitch there and it's gonna be a strike. Then he has to swing at it. And when he swings at it, he pops it up or he swings and misses at it. Those are the pitches that get him. Once he starts to think about how he's got to get there, then it opens down in the way, wide open. And then you can spin him to death. And that's when they started to get him. He was hitting like those hard choppers down in the way when they were dotting that slider down the way after standing him up a little bit, right? Now this is where they were actually throwing the pitches. And like I said, the hole is here. They're throwing it here. Not good. This is in that lane right here. This isn't. So we're just keep missing over the plate when we're trying to go up and in. And it was never established up there, right? He never had to think about hitting this pitch. And there's a few there, and those were quality. But then they were getting some sliders, but they weren't as effective because this wasn't established. If we saw a bunch of red up and in and a bunch of red down and away, George Springer probably had a really tough series. But unfortunately, there were so many misses in this middle lane. And that's basically what was just happening. This is all general, right? It depends on stuff you throw. So like sometimes you don't throw pitches that work here. If you're like a split four-seam guy, you're probably not a great matchup for Springer. Though splits work really well here. Neither here nor there. This is all pitches. This is a very generalized version. And most guys would go look and say, okay, depending on what I do, where do I throw pitches that are my biggest strengths, where they overlap with his biggest weaknesses? You start there and then you work off of it. And as you get closer to these hot zones, because sometimes there's a lot of hot, right? He's got a ton of hot here. There's a ton there. You got to work along the edges. You got to be a little bit more fine. It's the playoffs. He's a good hitter. He had a great year. He just hits mistakes. You can't make as many mistakes to him as you can to say, like other guys, like Dalton Varsho or Andres Jimenez, right? You can make more mistakes to them and not get as hurt. He's one of the guys you had to avoid, and I just feel like they made a couple decisions by throwing a sinker, trying to go up and in with the sinker and having it leak back down into nitro zone, that they got beat on twice with him, and that led to two of their losses, and they lost the series by 1 game. There was just a couple times where I'm like, man, that's just not a good decision. Just isn't. Like one time, George Kirby tried to throw a sinker away and have it come back. If you throw a fastball up and away from George Springer, he is swinging. He's not going to stand there. There's no way he takes that. He doesn't operate from that's a ball, I'm going to take it. Like, no, he's swinging at it against the ball. He can foul it off. He's naturally good at that. So, like, that was just like a really low reward, high risk pitch that then turned into a homer. And I was just like, that you could have avoided that. Like, that was completely unavoidable. And he was pretty surprised that he got a pitch there, okay? So that's George Springer. I just want to talk about that a little bit. Now let's talk about how to face Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Now this one looks a little bit different. I apologize for the crap everywhere. It's kind of hard to see, so we might have to like adjust some of these things. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is overall. This is for the year. So all of these stats are during regular season to give us a big enough sample size. Okay, so this is Vlad's nitro zone here on the top left, meaning he's a little bit of a rocking chair guy, but he's definitely more of an up and down. So there's three kind of options here. Let me just give you how this kind of works, how we think about it. Okay, that's just a box, and this is every single guy, okay? Guys that hit this, and say this are all right-handed, so the hitter's over here. This is a rocking chair guy, meaning he hits this stuff. So you throw them up and in and down and away. Or they go straight up and down. They're a north-south guy. Vladdy's more of a north-south guy. Middle of the plate, all the way up, all the way down. Alejandro Kirk's another one of those. They can flatten their bats out well. Then there's like low ball hitters, Dalton Varsho. Hits only low, really struggles with high. And then there's the opposite. They hit up and in well and down and away well. And we call them reverse rocking chairs. So you can go up and away and you can go down and in. A guy that's not great there, Torkelson. He's that type of hitter. So I know this is all very easy to remember now. But those are kind of like four archetypes that most guys generally go into. And then you get the Bryce Harpers and the Juan Sotos who just have red everywhere. And then we have Ohtani here in a second, so he's one of those guys too. Vlad's covering the zone much better in the playoffs even, but mostly staying out of the middle of the zone. If you stay on the edges of the zone, that's when you have the most success against Vladimir, okay? So this is overall. This is the four-seam top right. So way up there is four-seam, down here is all breaking balls, and over there is changeups and splitters. So it's like soft is just straight, slow stuff. Breaking balls is everything that breaks, and four-seam fastball is what I have. So this is how I would approach Vladimir Guerrero. You see this? I'm going to use the red here. I'm going to use, what color? Orange. Okay, we're going to use orange. This is where I'll throw, okay? So if you see my four-seam fastball, inside of the plate, better than outside of the plate, okay? I like to throw up. I actually only could throw up, and it was very hard for me to throw down on purpose. So I'm kind of screwed here. So I would throw up and into him quite a bit. I would try to adopt that spot. That's not something I struggled. I was good at. I actually kind of threw all my fastballs there. So I would avoid throwing a fastball probably if I could to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and probably just cross my fingers and hope that I didn't have to match up with him too much, especially when he's as hot as he is right now. Now, one thing that's interesting is both the soft and the breaking, where he hits them, right? We have pretty much the same line down here with the breaking balls down here as we do with overall. That's not where you're trying to throw breaking balls. So if you actually get your breaking ball here and on the bottom of the zone and even just away, if you just stay over here with anything that breaks away from him, you're generally okay, which is nice because that's where righties are trying to throw their breaking balls more often. So what he's doing is catching ones that don't get where you're trying to throw them. He's hitting almost exclusively mistakes. So differently than a fastball, if you're trying to throw up and away, he can hit the pitch even if you dot it. But with the breaking ball, if you try to throw it where you're trying to throw it, you'd probably be fine. Aaron Judge is also like this. Now, Aaron Judge, that's the only blue he has. It's down and away for a slider, right? That's the only blue on the whole thing. But that said, if you can do it over and over and over again, he will probably just get out. And the same thing with soft here. Bottom of the zone. That's where I'm trying to throw my splitter, my changeup, my seam shifter. That's where I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make sure they stay down there and stay down and in. So what you're doing is you're starting them off here. You're going to that instead of a fastball. So if I went strike one with a slider or a sweeper, dot it. Say I'm just dialed in. Then I throw a changeup that breaks down and into him, and he fouls it off. We're 0-2. All of these things are open. Maybe I go way up here. Maybe I go way up here with the fastball, or I just expand another changeup or expand another slider. Now that's oversimplifying because that's probably not going to happen exactly that way. But if I'm dialed in, that is how we have to get him out, right? And it's very interesting because these mistakes in the middle here, this right here, has been what he's been fed the whole playoffs. And he's even hit a couple pitches that he doesn't normally hit in and away about belt high, which is a little bit of a shift. So he's done a couple things in the playoffs that he doesn't usually do, and that is scary as a pitcher. All right, So you just take a screenshot of that. Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, let's get to Ohtani because he is really fun, okay? Now we get Ohtani. Say, thank you, Trevor. I love all of your handwriting. It's really good. Oh, well, I don't know how to select anything else, so I won't do it, I guess. All right. So, again, we have overall. We have the four seam, the breaking, and the soft. These are the things I have, and it's general. I would be more granular if I were going to do this. I would like plug in my movement numbers within a range. So like pitches that move exactly like mine, maybe make the number of at-bats bigger so that I can get more data on it. So I know exactly how they face guys that look like me, because there's a lot of them. I'm a big right-handed white dude. Like there's a lot of us, right? So, and I throw hard. But if you notice, whole lot of red everywhere. Whole lot of red. Which is scary because make mistake, get hit hard. But the one thing that I see that is maybe beneficial to me that I can go to all the time is fastballs up. These are things he has not handled generally this well. Not that he can't get to a fastball up, because he can. There's some red in there. But like consistently, and also with Shohei, you can't just throw the same pitch over and over again because he changes. So this is just all the times he changed together, which kind of muddies that up. But just know that if you stay on top rail, you probably will be okay. Might not be a swing and miss, but it might be a pop-up. He's not going to hit it 117 unless it's in a count where he's looking for that pitch. Now, breaking balls from righties, yikers. Look at this. So what I just showed you, Vladdy, you're like, I'm trying to throw my breaking ball down and into lefty, down away to righty. Well, that's not a good decision. Maybe we shouldn't do that. So if you want to throw him breaking balls, you better be bottom of the zone or below. You better throw something with depth. So you're not just ripping sweepers and having them come all the way back like into the inner half so we can just Yahtzee them, especially if they stay on plane. You want something that's going down. North-south is much better. So four-seam curveball is a much better situation than sinker sweeper, right? Because sinkers, by the way, and I didn't put it up here because I don't throw one, he handles those down in a way where people want them all the time anyways. Not a great situation. So I'm throwing backdoor sliders, curveballs or whatever. I'm probably not throwing a slider, frankly, unless I feel really good about it and I got to keep it over the plate. Because if it moves back towards the plate and goes in here, it's gone. It's gone. He is hitting a ball either through me or through one of the advertisements out in right field. And we don't want that either. So I'm trying to keep, if I can sneak a strike, go grab this right here, down and away. If I can just sneak a strike with a gyro slider or something and I'm 0-1, I'm like, let's go. Like, I won and it's 0-1. I'm just like, yeah. Like, that's what we're doing because it sets up everything else. And now he knows I'll throw it, even though I'm not going to throw it again. Unfortunately, with the soft stuff, with the changeup, I'm trying to go here, but now I'm trying to go down here, all little. So I'm trying to really stick that changeup down and away. But unfortunately, I tended to pull it here sometimes. And if I pulled it there sometimes, it's gone. It's going through me or it's going through an advertisement out in outfield. So the where I have the most, I think, leeway is with the four-seam fastball of all pitches, especially away. So one thing I think he gets a lot is sinkers that are traveling off the plate because guys are afraid of him generally because he's big and he hits everything in the zone super duper hard. If that's the case, right, then everyone's going to be trying to stay on the edge or off the plate because he does tend to chase a little bit, but I would probably try to stay up and away, stay down and away with the four-seam fastball, maybe get a freeze, maybe steal a strike. Once I get ahead, I'm trying to use that changeup to then set up a fastball probably up in middle and go higher and higher to get him to chase it. How many times have you seen him swinging a pitch this far above the zone? It's because the pitcher's in the driver's seat. So sometimes Ohtani gets in this like go, go, go mode where he gets like 3-pitch Ks. So how many times do you watch Shohei like go up and just like look bad, right? Look terrible. You can get him going in that way if you can stick one of the first two pitches exactly where you want it so that he's thinking about it. But other than that, if you make a mistake anywhere else, if you put him in the driver's seat, go 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, and you just want to try to throw a fastball like up middle, he's going to hit it through you or through the advertisement in the outfield. So start him off, backdoor slider, then go pitch 2. So we'll go 1, Pitch 2, fastball up and away. I'm going to go pitch 3, fastball down and away, and then try to change them up and off. If not, that's going to be 4. We'll say it's 2-2, and then I'm going to go right back up here for pitch 5. And then hope he popped out. That's what we're going to hope for. At the end of the day, it just comes down to, like, where are my safe spots that if I hit that spot, I know I'm going to be okay. I know I can get ahead. I know I can be in a position to be successful, because it's hard to hit no matter who you are if you're always behind. And then try to get putaways from there. And because it's the playoffs, don't focus so hard on the strikeout, Trevor. You're probably not going to strike them out because they're just as good or probably better than you. So just food for thought. That's how I would approach it. It's going to be interesting to see how the guys with the ride go after him, though. Everyone throws 2 seams too now, so it's going to be interesting to see how that factors in. But I just thought it would be interesting to go over the way that I do it, and that is how I would face these guys, and that's how I'm going to look at guys who pitch similar to me, how they approach them, and how they try to avoid that big swing, because you don't want those 2 guys to beat you. If you let one of those 2 guys get going, you are putting yourself in a position to lose the series, and at this point, you came all this way. Don't put yourself in a position to lose the series. Make them beat.